G'day, g'day, g'day. Welcome back to the Yucky Outback, Australia's Death Guard tactics for the plague-ridden side of the tabletop. I'm your host, the Stench Strategist, and today we're talking about win rates, where Death Guard is sitting, what the numbers are really telling us, and whether the recent changes are actually translating into better results on the tabletop for us. We'll look at the current Death Guard performance and which key units are driving the results. Because win rates don't really tell the whole story, but they do show us where the rot is spreading. So remember guys, we don't move fast, but we move with inevitability. Everyone, you know what time it is. Let's get yucky. Before I start this video off, I just wanted to say thank you so much for the feedback and support. I mean it, everyone, all of you subscribers, everyone that liked the video and all the comments that I got in the video, the previous video was absolutely amazing. The feedback was just so out there with the quality that I need to step up my game. So hopefully this mic quality is improved for you guys. And the overall support that I've got from the comments of you guys rallying behind me as an Australian YouTuber trying to make its way through into the 40k community. Guys, everything that you guys have said to me has completely uplifted me and made me want to go 120% harder on all of my videos. And all of you subscribers have not gone unnoticed. I'd like to thank every single one of you personally. You guys have just absolutely catapulted me, extended my contagion range, I guess you can say, on the effort that I want to put into these videos. So if you haven't already, like and subscribe. Come join the Outback family. I'd love to have you in this channel and this community. We're all about having competitive fun and just an awesome experience in the 40k universe. So just wanted to say from the bottom of my heart, guys, thank you so much. All right, so we're going to talk about win rates for Death Guard in the close weeks that we've had in 11th edition. Currently we're sitting at the second worst out of all the other factions and armies present in 40k. We are below Imperial Agents, which is saying a lot because a lot of the joke is we don't really count them as an army. Yeah, we're going to go through why that will be the case for Death Guard at the moment. I was seeing it coming a little bit after having a couple games against some higher competitive players with competitive lists. We'll go through why I personally think that we're the way that we're at with all the data that I've found, and overlooking other YouTube channels as well, and go from there. So win rates for Death Guard these couple of weeks in, we're looking at a 36% win rate overall. This is with tournaments over the past 2 to 3 weeks. I found that the most played detachments are Virulent Vectorum, Contagion Engines, Champions of Contagion, and Paragons of Putrescence. Paragons of Putrescence is really good for OC denial. Champions of Contagion is obviously a really broad take on battle line Plague Marines and giving them take and hold. Contagion Engines is obviously your assault detachment, which gives all of your contagion engines such as Mythic Blight Haulers, your Bloat Drones, and Hellbrutes the assault keyword on all of their weapons for shooting. And Virulent Vectorum, we all know, sticky objectives, OGVV. Virulent Vectorum is just a solid attachment, it's 3DP, can't go wrong. It is taken hold, so this is something that I'll get into later in the video on why I think our detachment dispositions have been a little bit misplaced. But yeah, the most picked dispositions that I found is Taken Hold and Purge the Foe. Disruption's been missed, Priority Assets has been completely missed. The other ones are Reconnaissance as well. They're the big ones that have been missed. So yeah, we'll talk about why that will be as well in this video and go through all of the ins and outs. So make sure you stick tuned to the end of the video because you're going to get some knowledge thrown your way, guys. Alright, so what the heck is going on with Death Guard? Noble, why the heck are we underperforming so drastically compared to our 60 to 56% win rate at the end of 10th edition? We have no heavy hitting consistent units in shooting or melee. It is that simple. We are changed to a 4+ shooting army over the whole board. We have barely any access to rerolls into multiple units. We have very limited ways to buff our units to do any better. So I've done some dot points on the side that I'll reference so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So what we are seeing over a whole with Death Guard is Purge is very inconsistent. Purge is very dominant in the edition at the moment. It's very it's pretty much the old school way of how we played in 10th. You want to kill stuff, hold objectives, rah rah rah. So the reason why Death Guard struggle into Purge is because we have a 4+ shooting without a lot of rerolls, unless you take Lord of Virulence, who gives blast rerolls and rerolls of 1 into 1 unit, which gives only 1. I mean, unless you're playing like the Purge mission where you get condemned units, where you get 5+ for killing a condemned unit, that is really hard to score multiple units of killing, because now our heavy bloat drones are shooting on 4+, where even on 3+, you were dicey with the amount of shots. Now you're dicey with the amount of hits, and now you can be dicey with the amount of wounds you're doing too with those higher vehicles you want to crack sometimes. Contagion engines can't ignore cover in their detachment whatsoever, so they get assault, that's great, but they're still hitting on 4+, guys. You're just throwing out stuff in the open to get shot with very little reward. The only way it really helps with the ignore cover is if you're shooting into a vehicle with your mythic blight haulers. They get +1 to hit and +1 to wound, so look at that as you will. It can negate the -1 ballistic skill with if you're going into a vehicle, but if not, you are very underperforming with mythics and the heavy bloat drones. The regular bloat drones with the flesh mower and the plague splitters are quite consistent now, because they don't care about the overall cover mechanic that's in play, but they're still very dicey. You're rolling 2d6, you can roll 2 1s, and you have to get a 2-up anti-infantry on a flamer. They're only damage 1 as well, so they're not very high damage profiles. So, and they're only AP1 going to AP2 if you have -1 save contagion at play. So it is quite something to have a look into on what units you want to bring, because Death Guard don't have that firepower anymore. We also can't remove units for take and hold as well. So if you're playing VV and Champions of Contagion, the whole thing that struggles for us is for take and hold, you need to out OC your enemies, which means you have to survive longer than them too to keep scoring on each turn. They're expecting us to have -1 damage and have benefit of cover, which is great. The hidden mechanic's very strong. But however, once you break that hidden mechanic range and you also get into combat with us, we don't do too well. It's not something that we're very good at. At the moment, a lot of our good hitting weapons are on our Death Shroud, on our Blight Lords and things like that. Our elite bricks. Nurgle guys don't even have AP1 knives unless they have -1 save. And you want -2 in melee for sure, because if the Berserkers can do it and everything else, Death Guard should be a little bit better into combat, I believe, but it is what it is. Affecting our secondaries is a really big one. So since we're hitting on 4+ in shooting, we have no way to guarantee our secondaries are going to be without fail. You're going to try and plan ahead in all of your turns, obviously, like every other army with your secondaries, what to hold on to, what to discard. But now you don't have a consistent answer of, oh, okay, mark for death, I can go kill this. Or, for example, if you get, what is it? There's another one for, I think it's Grievous Wound, I believe, 13+ starting strength. You don't know if you can kill that 13+ unit, because if they have cover and you've breached the hidden and you're hitting on 4s with heavy bloat drones, even the Defilers for that matter, the Defilers hitting on 4s, and I can say from my past experience against World Eaters, my Defiler could not kill a simple brick of Jackals. Put that down to bad dice rolls, whatever you want. That to me says a lot. If I have to spend 330 points for a Defiler that's meant to be a shooting platform and it cannot kill Jackals, what the heck are we doing? Okay? I personally don't see Death Guard having much shooting at all, because the Defiler was the answer for that in 10th. Now they've jacked the prices up, and now the -1 to hits in play. It's like not. We don't have shooting anymore. We need to have heavy on our vehicles to be able to compete. So, which is actually really ideal for Death Guard. If we can get heavy, that would be huge, because we don't want to move far. We don't want to be able to commit too much. And now that it's changed, the heavy word has changed, where you can still move a total of 3 inches, no more than 3, and you still gain the heavy keyword. that is just massive buff to the heavy keyword, which is huge for Death Guard because we can position just outside of whatever ranges, get ready to clap back for vehicles, not really worry about infantry as much, and be able to have the clap back ready to go. Because if you just toe in, you can see that is the biggest change. Excuse me. So the other thing that I found is Death Guard's just not designed for all the new changes that they've rolled out in 11th. We're really not. We were perfect into 10th, and that's how they set us up. With our current codex, they haven't given us any ways to ignore cover. They haven't given us any way to increase our hit ballistic skill. And they haven't given us any way to be able to really give Plague Marines the fighting chance that they need to be able to really push that agenda. They have given us Infiltrate to push Contagion up the board. But what's the point of putting them up the board outside of 9 when we're just going to get charged and lose them? So, to me, I don't see that they've really done a very good job. I think GW have been very lazy, in my personal opinion, and they really need to step up their game. So, what our army's key style is. Death Shroud are MVPs right now in 11th. They have a 7-inch charge coming from reserves if they have their Contagion ability on their datasheet procced. They have really great melee combat. They have 4 attacks each for their strike, hitting on 2s, strength 8, AP 2, damage 2. This does go to an increased AP if you take -1 to save. If you take the sweep, I believe they're 8 attacks each on 3s, strength 4, I believe, AP 1, damage 1, but you can go AP 2 obviously. The good thing is that they have great leaders. So if you pair up, for example, everyone knows the Lord of Contagion, he gives sustain and lance on the charge to his unit, including himself, because how the leader mechanics work now. So Death Shroud become a lot more threatening in that manner, especially if you put on Villain Rectorm, you put the 5-up crit enhancement, Demon Weapon of Nurgle, or Nurgle Demon Weapon. He gets a 5-up crit personally. It spikes pretty hard. That's the other thing too for the Champions of Contagion. Since these guys are a character attached unit, they will get the 5-up crit, which is really big for a CP. That's for the unit as well, not just for the models. The whole unit gets 5-up crit, so you can fish for some crazy damage with these guys. They already have built-in lethals as well, so it's a given. They also give a -1 leadership aura if you take the icon on them, which it's free. You might as well. They also get a T7 base, which is really, really good. They're better than your average elite Terminator units. They're a lot tougher, but they are a lot slower by 1 whole inch, so it can play in effect most of the time. They pretty much feel like they have a -1 charge on them the entire time. They are a 2-up into a 4-up invulnerable, which is really good defensively. These guys are really hard to take down. Really, really hard. You have to commit a fair bit of shooting unless your dice rolls are really average. The Lord of Contagion also gets a Feel No Pain. The Death Shroud's data sheet ability states that if they're being led, they give up a 4-up Feel No Pain to their leader, which is quite decent as well. So Precision, which is really meta at the moment. These guys try to save that, and they do quite a good job. A 4-up Feel No Pain is very, very reliable. 4+s do get dicey, but you'd rather take it than not, right? And the Death Shroud Terminators are a great heroic choice. By far, they put up some numbers. Now, since they get fights first on the heroic charge now, these guys get the preference of fighting afterwards, right after your opponent has their first combat, and these guys will tear up almost anything on that because they still get their bonuses for making a charge because they technically have made a charge just out of phase. So, excuse me. These guys do heaps of work. So, this is the Rant page, and I've made this because the only reason why I really see Death Guard in a struggle as much as they are as well is GW. Where the heck is our anti-vehicle unit? I see tons of World Eaters have it, Tau have it. We've got heaps of other armies with this anti-vehicle wound keyword. Death Guard don't have that. They've tried giving us Mythic Blight Haulers. These guys are inconsistent. We need that elite infantry brick that other armies have that can do this. Death Shroud can do this, but they don't have an anti-vehicle or an anti-monster wound keyword. So I don't see why the heck we can't have that. It's a long time coming and they need to change it, because if they're not going to give us firepower, we need to have something, which you might as well give us melee where we can tribute OC and be that tough attrition style play, which suits our play style, which pretty much adapts into every single list. So I don't see many reasons why you wouldn't. The other reason why I would probably see GW needing to do this sooner rather than later is because Mortarion has Purge the Foe. The only way we can really confirm Purge the Foe is if we bring Death Shroud. They need to kill stuff. Mortarion's Hammer automatically, outside of 12 of all enemy models, you get the chance to select 2 units for 2,000 points. And that's going to allow us to auto-contage them. That's putting a 7-inch charge on units turn 2 straight away, and that's really big. That's a big threat. If you run a 6-man and 2 3-mans of Death Shroud, I know that's a lot, sounds like a lot of points, but the way points for shooting platforms are right now, you might as well run the melee instead. And that's going to be really, really big, because you can run Champions of Contagion, Mortarion's Hammer mixed with Flyby Host. You can have Infiltrating Plague Marines, which is really good. You can also run Paragon's Putrescence, where your Death Shroud can get +1 OC, which is really big as well. And that gives +2 Contagion to all characters, units as well. So that is really, really, really good. You also get, with Flyby Host, -1 to a Force Battle Shock test in the fight phase, which can like erupt big into your opponent's primary scoring, which does eligibility for secondaries and things like that too. So there's a lot of play there. So whatever your kind of toolbox style, your style that you're going for your list, definitely check those stratagems out. They're very, very impactful. The schedule for me anyway, moving forward after this video, we're going to be looking at making the most competitive Death Guard lists for each detachment, so stick out for that video. That video is going to be jam-packed with the most meta things I can jam into a list that I can come up with a couple of the buddies of mine that play competitive Death Guard overseas. I'm based in Australia. I've got guys in the UK and in America as well. Some of them have gone to WTC and Worlds. So these guys really know what they're talking about when it comes to list building. And we'll be able to storm some stuff up together and come up with some really good ways to be able to pursue those wins that we are having in a rough time. I'm also going to come up with a little bit of a spanner in the works for a detachment series breakdown for 11. So I'm going to go through each detachment and break it down into a really good step-by-step guide on what that detachment's focusing on, what good pairings you can do, and what type of alleyways you can take that detachment to try and set up your win rate. So stick around for that video as well. I've also based a Q&A subscriber-driven video, so I want you guys in the comments to come up with some great video ideas that you guys want answered, or any questions that I can do with. I might just do a Q&A video on questions that you guys want to have answered. I've had a couple questions the other day where the Plague Marine keyword kept coming up as can Plague Marines get led by characters and still get the Infiltrate keyword? The answer is yes, because they do get the Plague Marine keyword as being a start of the unit in the list declaring battle formation, so they do get the Plague Marine keyword. Therefore the detachment does see that they have the keyword of Plague Marines, giving that model Infiltrate. So that whole that character joins in and becomes Plague Marines as the whole unit now. So the community is very divided on this. I know for a fact that that's how it's worded, and that is correct, and that's how it's intended to be played. And that's what the competitive Death Guard players and myself have all come to conclusion. There's lots of conversations that take place as well before I come out with these statements anyway, because I want to make sure I'm quite right, but I'm always happy to be proven wrong. But as far as I'm aware, that's 100% a legal way to play that detachment. I've also got a Discord on the way, guys. I'm going to come through and make that. So in the Discord, we'll have, a community page where you can have any questions answered, talk to me personally if you have any questions, any queries about Death Guard. I'm more than happy to answer when I've got the time. Obviously, this is my full-time job, so I do have a career elsewhere to pay the bills. So I will definitely always try to get back to you as quick as I can, as quick as I possibly can, and make sure that I can bring you guys that information that you guys need. Also, we've got some battle reports on the way. I've got a couple mates that are really talented and very competitive in the 40k universe in the tabletop warfare, and these guys play online with me. So I'm definitely going to get keen to asking them to do some battle reports with me, and do some collabs with some channels that I've come across in my time. So stay tuned for that. Big videos on the way there. And live stream weekend games. I'm going to try to get some live streams going into YouTube as well, so you guys can tune in on the weekends when you guys aren't doing anything. Come look at me playing some competitive games, getting ready for GTs and tournaments, things like that. And if you guys have any questions, I can answer it live right then and there. So that's the biggest way I'm going to be able to impact you guys and get questions answered as quick as possible when I'm right there with you. Anyway, guys, just wanted to say finally at the end of this video, hope you guys have learned something, appreciate it. This is just a kind of little overview of the win rates, so not too informative, just going through where we're at, and some things, little bits and pieces to help you guys go through. Just want to jump on it. I'm a little bit late to it actually, so sorry for the delay there. Like I said, it's not my full-time job. So yeah, but again, thanks so much for the support and the feedback, guys. I can't say it enough. It's been absolutely wonderful to hear about from you guys. If you haven't already, again, please like and subscribe. Show your support. It means a lot to me, and making sure that what I'm doing is correct and going in the right direction for every 40k player moving forward. So yeah, make sure to drop a like, drop a comment on what you want to see going forward. Or your list that you guys are trying, things that you're struggling with. Maybe we can all answer your questions together in the comments and come up with a great way to push forward and do well in this edition. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what everyone's doing. And remember, stay yucky, guys. Appreciate everyone's time. Have a great rest of your evening, and stay tuned for the next one. And stay yucky.